Hi, I'm Maria.
And I'm Jeff,
We are the Lackeys.
and this is our story.
We knew pretty much from the day we met that we were supposed to be married. And we were so excited to get married and to start a family.
We started infertility treatments because we weren't able to get pregnant.
And that was really hard. As much as we wanted to start a family and we saw all of our friends who had gotten married start their families, for whatever reason, it wasn't going to be for us at that time.
And in the middle of those treatments, I started working for Focus on the Family. And shortly after that, they decided to relocate to Colorado Springs.
Even though that meant leaving my family, that was really hard. But I knew that we were supposed to come to Colorado Springs, and so we did just that.
And we continued some infertility treatments, but by the end of the year, we really felt God saying, you need to adopt.
In February, we began the adoption process, and very quickly we were chosen by a expectant mother, and we made some compromises on the decisions we had formerly made. Because we were just so desperate for a child, we thought, you know what, we're just gonna go for it. And so we said, yes, we will take this child, and we just went forward with that.
Yeah. We ended up getting a call from our caseworker that the expectant mother went into the hospital to deliver, but she changed her mind.
And I won't ever forget that day. I truly remember it as if it were yesterday. I was at home by myself, and Jeff was at work, and I got this phone call, and I was just devastated. I literally just kind of dropped to the floor with the phone in my hand, and I called Jeff, and he immediately was able to come home, and we cried together, and we were surprised by a knock at the door.
And it was my boss. He walked in and he said, that really sucks. And how hard that was, but what an encouragement. Was it a hard time? Yeah, it was real tough.
Yeah, it was very difficult. I mean, you know, when you make a decision to adopt, you don't think about all the things that could go wrong or might go wrong. We didn't think about that. And so, yeah, we were frustrated. We were just really at a loss, not understanding what was happening and why it was happening.
So for the next couple of months, that was some tough times. Did we drop into deep depression? No. Part of that is because we had support. Had support of our church, had support of our family. We had support of my coworkers, of which some of you guys are here today. We get to worship with you here at Heart of the Springs Church.
A couple months later, in June, we were called that another birth mother had chosen us.
Find out that she had gone through numerous books. You prepare a book of your life together as a married couple, and as soon as she opened the book, she knew.
And our son Jonathan was born July 4th of 92. Even before we had gotten the call that he was born, we were outside in our patio with our neighbors, and we were watching the fireworks and just wondering what was going to happen this time.
We picked him up from the hospital the next day, which is actually today, July 5th.
We were ecstatic. We were so excited. I remember being in the hospital room when he was brought to us, and just holding him and checking him out, making sure that he had all his fingers and toes and everything was okay, and it was really amazing. We couldn't be happier. We really couldn't.
There was a point, at some point, where she wanted to see him again. I don't know, what was it, about 30 days or something like that? And so we met at the adoption agency. Took Jonathan in, she held him. That was tough.
Yes.
because at that point he was not legally ours. The adoption process had not gone all the way through.
And she actually fed him. She wanted to feed him, and kind of, for her, she felt like, she told us it was her way of saying goodbye. But we didn't know if, as soon as she walked out, if she was going to tell her caseworker, you know what, I can't do this.
Yeah.
In fact, from day one, we were told that Jonathan could go to foster care, to a foster home, during that period of time that a birth mother has to change her mind. And we didn't do that. We fully believed that we needed to bring him home and love him for every second that we could have him, regardless of the outcome. That was something that we wanted to do.
Because that's what God called us to do, was to love this baby. And could it have been hard for us later if she did change her mind? Sure. But our job, for whether it was for that 30 days or for a lifetime, it was to love Jonathan.
So we felt like our family was complete. We had Jonathan, and we were very happy. Everything was great. And to our surprise, a few years later, in '95, I got pregnant. And we truly were surprised, because we didn't think we were going to get pregnant, and we felt like our family was the three of us, and we were happy and okay with that. But God had a different plan, and so I was pregnant, and everything appeared to be fine. But unfortunately, at 10 weeks, we lost the baby, and that was devastating. Another blow. We thought, okay, infertility, and going through adoption and all of that, and then now having a miscarriage. It was very hard.
And you know, for me, yes, there was grieving and hurt because of loss of a child, but for me it was more seeing the hurt in Maria and what can I do? How can I help her to feel better, to get through that?
But God is so good, and He did get us through that, and we hung on to His promises. And thankfully, our story doesn't end there. In '96, I got pregnant, and he was born in December of '96, and we named him Joseph, which means he shall add.
All of that is kind of wrapped up in Ephesians chapter 1, verses 5 through 10. It says, "In love he predestined us for adoption as sons, through Jesus Christ, according to the purpose of his will, to the praise of his glorious grace, which he has blessed us in the Beloved. In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses, according to the riches of his grace, which he lavished upon us, in all wisdom and insight, making known to us the mystery of his will, according to his purpose, which he set forth in Christ as a plan for the fullness of time, to unite all things to him, things in heaven and things on earth." God had been orchestrating our life all along for his purposes, for his glory, and he kept lavishing blessings upon us that we never expected.